Hi, George here. Let's take a look at all of the different ways of making selections here inside of Photoshop Elements. Now, I'll be covering a lot of stuff and relatively quickly here in this video. If you want to get more detailed information about how each one of these different selection techniques works, I have all of that in my HTG Photo Coach program. I'll put a link for that down there in the description. Okay, let's go over here left-hand side. We have this section over here on the tools that's called Select. And your basic selections are all right in here, these three spots. The left-hand corner here, this is really just a move tool and not a selection tool. If I make a copy of this, let's just go over here to background, right-click, duplicate layer, choose OK, and we'll zoom in. I can then move that layer around here. And if I zoom out, you can see I'm actually moving that on top of my other image. So that's what the move tool does, not really a select tool. It is very useful at times. Let's just hide that. Control 0 to fit screen again. Next over we have our marquee selections. There are two basic marquee selections, rectangular and elliptical. The rectangular makes a rectangle as you would imagine, just like that. There we go. And there's your selection. Now this shows you one thing about selections, and that's that we get this little marching ants outline around it. And that shows you where the selection is. Now the way selections work is that it protects the stuff that's not selected. So if I grab the paintbrush, I have black paint right now. It's a pretty small brush. Let me bring my brush size way up here. And let's make it a hard brush. And let's show our top layer. There we go. And then if I paint over this corner, notice how the paint is stopping at that selection. So the selection is allowing me to paint inside of what's selected, and it's protecting what's outside of the selection. That's the main reason for using selections. It allows you to limit where you're working on your image. I'll do Control Z to back up over that painting. The same thing applies if we're using filters. Go up here to Filter. Let's just come down here and make an artistic filter on this one. We'll do a neon glow and OK. And notice how that's only applied inside of that selection. So selection controls where you're working on an image. Let's do Control Z back out of that. And one last one here. Selections also control where you make a layer mask. If I hit the layer mask button up here, the layer mask is made at that selection outline. So that's the basics of why you'll use a selection. Control Z to back up out of that. There we go. Now when you're on a selection and you're on a selection tool, you can move that selection around. It won't do anything like that. If you're off of the tool and you then move the selection, it acts like a scissors and cuts that piece out. Control Z to back out of that. You can even see the little scissor icon right there. Let's go back to the selection tool. Down below, we have different ways of working with selections. If I do Control D to remove that selection and then come in here and make a new selection, there we go. That's that new selection option. Next over is the Add To. If I come in here and do another selection, it simply adds that new selection to the existing selection. If I go over here to Subtract and pull a selection, it cuts that piece out. And the final one here, I never really used this one. This is an intersection. If I come in here and make a selection like this, you see where those two are overlapping? Just that overlap piece is shown. That's the intersect. I'll go back out of those. There we go. Feathering controls the softness of a selection edge. I'll just deselect this. Now to use feathering, you have to apply this before you make your selection. So put in a feathering here of 20, and I'll pull that selection like that. Notice the rounded corners are now showing up. That's the softness on that selection. Let's go up here to Edit and Copy. And I'll make a new layer above this. Let's reverse our colors. Let's deselect our selection, Control D, and fill that layer. There we go. Then if I go up here to Edit and Paste, that pastes in that selection, and there is that 20 pixel feathering around that edge. That's what the feathering does. It softens up the edges. Personally, I prefer doing that as a separate step. Let me show you that real fast here. I'll just hide that layer, come back down to this layer here, and let's set our feathering back to 0. There we go. And then make a new selection in here. Let's use this to make a layer mask. Here's our layer mask. And now I can control the softness of that edge using the layer mask by blurring the layer mask. And that's Filter, come down to Blur and Gaussian Blur. Here we go. And the nice thing about this technique, see the blurred edge in there, is that I can try different blur levels and see the one that I like the best. So with using the feathering option when you're making your selection, you're stuck with just the one level of blur. It may not be the blur that you want. But by using the Gaussian blur on the layer mask, you can come in here and you can try different blurs and see which one you think is best. There we go. Let's pull that above that white layer. You can see there's our nice blurred soft edge. Let's bring this back down here again, and I'll hide that layer. I'm going to remove that layer mask. Delete layer mask. There we go. Back to this again. And I'll put this back up to fill screen. There we are. And back to our selection tools. Now down here on aspect, you can do a fixed size or a fixed ratio. Here's your ratio. 1:1 would be a square. So if I now pull in here, it's going to give me a perfect square. No matter where my mouse is, I'm always getting a perfect square. So that's real easy to do it that way. Control D to deselect. Or fixed size. This has it now at 64 by 64. If I click in here someplace, it makes that sized image right there, 64 by 64. Control D. Let's make this 200. Just make it bigger, 200 by 200, easier to see. Click in here, and there it is at 200. Now, all of these things down here, the feathering, aspect ratio, all this kind of stuff will be applied to other selections as well, depending upon what can be done with that selection. Obviously, you can't do a fixed size if you're doing a freehand selection, but the options over here will be the same. Feathering will be the same. You may have two options in here, rectangular and marquee. Now, anti-aliasing shows up here on the elliptical, and that's because we have these curves going on in here. If you have curves or diagonal lines, you'll have anti-aliasing, and that simply smooths the curve out, making it a bit more regular for you. Okay, over here, left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner of the select section, there are three of these, the lasso, the magnetic lasso, and the polygonal lasso. Again, these tools stay the same. Here's our anti-aliasing. There's the feathering. All those things are in here. Regular lasso is just a freehand. Just come in here, just freehand like that. Whatever freehand shape you want. This is often useful for just a real fast, kind of a rough selection. Maybe you're doing a real quick mask. You just want to get rid of some stuff in the background. Easy way to do it. It's also a good way if you want to just delete something using the content aware fill up here, edit and fill. This works on selections. So you have to make a selection first. You can then use the content aware fill. Choose OK. There you go. It just kind of erases that, whatever is inside that selection. Okay, Control Z to back out of that and Control D to deselect. Again, feathering works in here. Magnetic. We have some options down here with contrast, frequency, and feathering again. This just helps you to control the magnetic lasso. Now, the way this works is you click and then you pull along an edge like this, and see, I can be a little bit out like that. The contrast controls how well it finds that edge. Width controls how wide you can be in here for finding that edge. That just kind of helps you control how well it is spotting where that edge is. Frequency is how many dots are being placed along that line. Those are control points. And of course, feathering is softening it out. So you can use this to kind of control how well this works. If you come to a corner with this tool, just do a click and you can put a dot in with a click. So use this for finding curved areas and then click when you want to have a corner. Notice how it's not really doing a great job of following that edge. And that's often the problem with this particular tool, the magnetic lasso. It's very good at following real sharp, obvious edges. It's not so good at things that are not quite as obvious. So it tends to need cleanup afterwards. I'll just double click here and complete that. And you can clean this up by using any other tool you want. I'll just go over here to the polygonal lasso tool this time. Let's just come in here and choose Add to Selection. I can then click in here and draw a new tool. With the polygon, you place in points, and then Photoshop Elements comes in and connects those points. And I'll just come around here and I'll make a new selection this way for this edge of this wing, which was getting messed up. Come back here close to the beginning, double click, and that then makes that my new selection. I just added that into the existing selection. So you can use the polygonal lasso tool. Great tool for cleaning up selections. It's also a good tool for making selections that are difficult. To Control D, get rid of this. In something like this, I would normally use the polygonal lasso tool because I have perfect control over that. I can come in here and come right around the edge of this shirt in here in the collar. And then I'll come outside for the hair because it's too difficult to do this manually. We'll come back and we'll take care of that in just a second. And I'd then go around the whole figure in here and do a nice clean job with this tool. It takes a little bit of time this way. And the more time, the more care you're doing with this, the better your selection will be. Also with this tool, don't click too fast or it will collapse your selection. Double click here, see it just closes it off if I clicked too fast. Now in here I got a good selection around here where I was being very careful and not so good down here. That's where this tool comes in. It says Refine Edge. That brings up your Refine Edge tool. And with this tool, you can brush over the areas that you couldn't really quite get perfect. And then Photoshop Elements goes in and carefully examines that edge and gives you a better selection right along that edge. It just kind of fixes that edge for you. I'll just choose OK. So I have a new selection here, much better than I could have done by hand. So that's the Refine Edge option right down there. And Control D to back out of that. Just to the right of the lasso tools, we have this section here, Selection Brush Tools. And this can occasionally save you some time, but it depends on how well they work. First one here is the Quick Selection tool, and for that you just paint into an area like that. And then Photoshop Elements tries to find matching parts of that selection, kind of fills it in as you go. Notice how it's not perfect. You have to come back in and do a little bit of edge adjustment on this. Messed up right up here. And for that, I would go back to the polygonal lasso tool and just take those pieces out. That's a pretty good selection. This works out well if you have a nice solid edge on things, good separation. You would need the Refine Edge down along the hair again. And again, the polygonal lasso tool to clean up here and maybe right over there. But it's pretty fast as you can see. Control D to deselect that one. Next over here, we have the selection brush. I'm going to bring my brush size way up so you can see this better. There we go. And this is just a paintbrush. And the paintbrush fills in the selection where you paint. So if you like to paint, you're pretty good at freehand painting, this can be a real good selection tool. It's also good if you have a different selection made and you want to just come in and fix some spots. It's a pretty good tool for that. And on this one, we have size and hardness adjustments down here and brush adjustments right down there. Also notice here where it says selection, you can do a mask as well. This is the quick mask. This used to be a tool a long time ago, and we now have the tool back again. It's just a variation on the selection brush. So it's a pretty good tool to use. Again, if you like to paint, making your selections, this is an easy one to use. Over here, we have the Magic Wand tool. Control D to get rid of that. This is a good tool for real easy areas. Now, there are some options down below here. Sample all layers. If you have multiple layers, it will then take into consideration all of your layers. Contiguous means touching. Anti-aliasing, again, is softening up or smoothing out an edge. And the problem with this is the tolerance right down in here. The tolerance is how close in color is the area you clicked on. It's going to find other things that are similar to that. For instance, this color in here is pretty similar to this color down here as far as Photoshop Elements is concerned. So it grabbed a lot of the wrong stuff. Make your tolerance lower like that and click. It's not going to grab as much stuff. You then can come in here, click on Add, and then work your way through, kind of walk through and click additional areas to add those in. But this can take a lot of time. It's a lot of work this way. Again, it's going to come in and grab some of the wrong stuff. So it's not very good for use on pictures like this. It can work though on areas with more solid colors like we have in here. Click on that and it grabs all of that. And you can then walk in and grab the rest. And as you can see here, it does a pretty good job. You may want to come back in here and use the Refine Edge along the hairs of the horse in here, along the horse's mane to clean that up. But it does a pretty good job. There's little spots in here. It may cause you some problems. You can fix those, again, by going back here to your lasso tools. So grab the regular lasso tool, click on Add, and you can just grab those and bring them in like that. So pretty easy to come in here and clean this kind of a selection up. Down here, this is a Refine Selection Brush tool. I don't use this one that often. Let's see how this one will work. I'll click out here, make this selection. Let's invert this selection, select inverse. We have the area up in here where there's some fine hairs on top of the sky. Over here to the Refine Selection Brush tool. It's kind of like using the Refine Selection, so much smaller brush size. And then notice right down here we have some options. We have Add to Selection, Subtract from Selection, Push Selection, and Smooth Selection. Let's try Push, and I'll just push in here. And we can try to get a good refined edge this way by moving our selection around. Now that circle in there, we have the larger circle outside the smaller circle. That's kind of a drop off. The outer circle is where it's going to be working on, and the inner circle is where it's really applying the selection. So you're working with the inner circle mostly. And notice in different areas here, it's going to change that size automatically to help you get that selected edge. Now, it's a little hard to use this tool. I have never really gotten comfortable with this one. I find the regular refined selection much, much easier and faster to use. Let's go back here to the butterfly and come down here to the auto selection. We have options here: rectangle, ellipse, lasso, and polygonal lasso. I'll grab the lasso tool. And again, we're on the auto selection tool. And I'll just do a lasso around this butterfly in here like that. There we go, and go clear back around to the beginning. And what that does is it tells Photoshop Elements where you want to make a selection, and it goes in and finds the edges. And it's usually a pretty good job. It missed the eye up here. It missed the corner right there. It misses a little bit in here. So it's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job. The stronger the separation, the better job this is going to do. So it's a nice tool to use if you like using the lasso tool. The auto selection tool helps you get an automatic refinement on that and can save you some work. And right down here we have a few more options. These are buttons for select subject, select sky, and select background. I'll do Control D on this. You'll also find those up here under the select menu. Subject, this has been around for a few versions now. Click on that. Photoshop Elements goes in, finds the subject, and makes a mask selection. Right now we're seeing mask. It just changes over to seeing selection, and it did a pretty good job. It got that corner, for instance, and it got the eye over here. So it did a pretty good job on that one. And Control Z is back out of that. Other option up here, we have the background and the sky. That's these two options right here. These both came in 2024. And if you do a lot of stuff with skies in them or backgrounds, those can be useful. Let's go ahead and give this a try. I'll use the quick buttons down here. Select sky first. Let that make a selection. And I can then change the sky or adjust the sky, whatever I wanted to do on that. And again, pretty good job. Even came in pretty good on the hair. This would still need some refined edge work right there, and there's your refine edge button. But it did a pretty good job of that. Control D to deselect. And our last option over here is select background. So what this does really is it finds the subject and then just inverts that selection. So it's really just the opposite of this. Control D. I could do the exact same thing by doing select subject like that, and then select inverse, and it now has the background selected. And Control D. Now the tool that you decide to use will depend partly on what you're doing, and it's also partly on just what you feel the most comfortable with. Lots of tool options. I recommend just coming here and just trying these different selection tools, see how they work, and again, find the one that you happen to like the best. I personally am a big fan of the polygonal lasso tool here. If you want to find out more about these different tools, how these tools work, you want to have written instructions on how to use those, that's the whole reason I have my Photoshop Elements Coach program. And that gives you step-by-step instructions on how to use each one of these different tools, plus everything else in Photoshop as well. And right now I'm updating that program to cover Photoshop Elements 2025, so that's going to be included in there real soon. And you can find that in the link down there in the description, right at the top of the description. I'll put a link for that program. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future, and I'll see you next time.